So what is it in sobriety that scares me? I want to talk about today. I spent a lot of time thinking. First and foremost, I drank 4 beers or 5 beers last night. Don't really consider that I don't consider that too much. But as any alcoholic will tell you, one's too many and 100's not enough. So, I'm able to contain it, keep it under control. Of course, I do fall asleep early, and that pisses my wife off. So it's always a sticking point for her. Every time she knows I'm having any beers, she just assumes that my night is going to be a waste. I'm just going to fall asleep early, blah, blah, blah. So that's how it goes. The thing that scares me the most about it is because I don't really feel like I need to drink. I do unfortunately enjoy the first beer or two a lot, and then after that it's just kind of all downhill from there. And why I continue, well, that's the alcoholic in it. I guess the thing that I'm afraid of, or the thing why I don't stop, is like most things in my life, is the big change. I'm good for the change. I'm good for the dedication to get through the moment or to get through the cravings, and I can dedicate myself to do that thing. Just like I can dedicate myself to losing a lot of weight when I want to. Usually I look for motivation or inspiration, but mostly I find lately that it's discipline. Discipline is the thing that you need. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, and if you don't stay on top of it, then you lose it, and it's over. You go back to your old habits. I think the part of it though that I'm afraid of is the change. Yes, I could create a circumstance in my head where I could commit to not drinking for a certain amount of time, and I could set a goal. I could set a short-term goal, which I could then evolve into a long-term goal, and I could certainly see myself doing that. I've done that in the past. But for me, it's the lack of whatever my perceived upside for quitting will be. And it's the same thing for me for losing weight, right? I've lost 4 times in my life that I've lost over 100 pounds. I can convince myself in the short term that I have to lose the weight for one reason or another. One time I lost a lot of weight because I was convinced myself that I could get myself to have the kind of body that would make my wife want to have sex with me again, right? Seems shallow maybe, but that was my fleeting inspiration, and that's, you know what I mean? And I did. I lost all the weight, and then nothing changed. Nothing changed. I'm not unhappy. I'm not saying that we don't have sex or something like that. I'm just saying though, is I put all of this focus and emphasis in the change, in the major change. I expected some 360-degree change in everything because I accomplished this goal, and I felt like a letdown when it didn't happen. Well, I feel the same way about drinking. I could quit drinking, but my perceived upside of quitting drinking is going to be okay, yes, I'm going to be in great shape, and oh yes, I'm going to be a better father, and yes, it's going to solve all my problems, and yes, I'm going to become more successful in my business. It's not the actual quitting drinking that's the hard part. It's the knowing, the realization at the end that after I quit drinking and I accomplished this idea that I didn't drink for a year's time, and these things that are in my life exist in the same way that they were when I was drinking, that is what scares me in the process. And I'm coming to a point though, I'm getting to a point in my head and in my health and in my relationships that I know that it's just going to be better in general if I stop. And so I'm trying to reconcile that fact. I started by saying, yes, I drank beers last night, and I'm trying to make improvements. But this is my struggle, and I just figured I would share it and see if anybody else out there is feeling the same way or has the same struggles. And is there any insight that anybody could give me? Or do you want to just debate it, But yeah, That's it. Thanks for your time.